All right, so let's dig into traditional marketing, specifically around networking for your business. So before you just go, ooh, I don't want to do that, hear me out. There's, networking is a fantastic way to build your coaching business. All right, so what is networking? Networking for coaches is all about building meaningful connections, both online and in person, to expand your reach, share your expertise, and attract new clients. It's one of the fastest ways, in my opinion, to make deep connections as a coach, especially if you are just starting out. There's no greater way than going to in-person, getting cheek to cheek. It's how I originally built my coaching business. And, and a lot of those relationships I still have today. All right, so 3 things that you need to have in place to effectively network for your coaching business. The first thing, and you may have heard of this, is the elevator pitch, right? So it's kind of your 30-second commercial, if you will, right? And this is one of probably one of the things that keeps most coaches from not wanting to network, because they don't feel they have a good elevator pitch. So this is what you say when people come up to you. Hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so. So what do you do, right? And I mean, you don't have to be so robotic with it, but a lot of the times when I would network, I would like to go to places that facilitate networking. So that means they'll put you in circles and everyone gets a minute or 2 minutes to talk about who they are and what they do, right? So I found places that do this in person, and now a lot of places do it online as well. So the first thing is really doing your best on the elevator pitch. The reality is you'll practice it a few different times. You're going to find what lands, okay? So when you briefly share your value as a coach, I want to give you a framework that is fantastic, okay? So then you just fill in the blank. And this is something you can then write out. You can hit pause on this video, write it out, practice it, say it in the mirror, memorize it, and see how it lands, right? So when I would do my quote unquote elevator pitch, and I call it that because I don't love that name, but that's how a lot of people, that's what they know it by, is the elevator pitch, is, I would tailor it a little bit based on the audience. So if I were with women entrepreneurs, I would, then say, I'm a coach, I work with women entrepreneurs. Or maybe if I was at a networking group and it was a bunch of realtors, you can kind of tailor it to make it make sense for the audience too. Okay. So what you could say is, hi, you say your name. So hi, I'm Tara Bullman. I am a business mentor for coaches. And then you say, as a result of what I do, my clients, the big result here, become the go-to coach for their niche and make plenty of profit doing so. So whatever your big result is. And, this goes back to some of that, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Just go back to your foundation work that you did as part of this and find out, when you were creating your perfect client profile, what were the big results? What did they want the most? So let's lead with that. Okay. And then you say, so if you know anyone who, and again, we're going to talk about the struggles or the pain at this point, anyone who, insert 1 to 3 struggles, right? I'd love a connection. Okay. So that's your ask. So hi, I'm name and your title, coach, life coach, health coach, whatever you are. As a result of what I do, my clients, insert your big results. So if you know anyone who, and then you put the struggles, is struggling with, or, wants to do this, or blah, 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 I'd love a connection. And 9 times out of 10, someone will come up to you and go, that sounds like me. Great. Oh, and then you take the conversation further and, let's hop on a call. Let's get on a Zoom. Let's have lunch, that kind of stuff. Okay. So I want to give you a really simple elevator pitch framework so that you're not kind of making it up as you go. Because I'm someone who I led a women's networking organization for years and years. And I found that if I gave people more than 1 minute to do their elevator pitch, they would start rambling. So we want to have it tight and concise, because sometimes they'll say, say who you are, what you do, and, something, a hobby of yours. They'll usually add some additional things. So we want to have time to say this, which is the most important thing, and then go into whatever else they are facilitating. So that being said, elevator pitch, very important. Use that framework. It really speaks to results. So I love it. All right. Number 2 is you're going to need to have business cards. And, I know there are some cool ways to do business cards now, which is like scanning QR codes or just having people scan something and it automatically puts their information in, all that kind of stuff, which is great. Like, use technology, absolutely. However, there is nothing that is more classy and professional than a good quality business card with like good paper, right? It really speaks to your professionalism as a coach. So I want you to get high quality business cards that leave a lasting impression and demonstrate your professionalism. So it needs to have your name, your title, contact information, website, and if you can, put a photo or logo on your business cards. That's something to make it stand out. So I always went a little extra with my business cards because I liked people to be like, oh, this is cool. Because, it's like that little thing that people don't just throw them away or forget about them. So those are the basic things. Also know, if you don't want people to call or text you, you don't need to put your cell phone on your business card. You can handwrite it for someone who's a really good connection. Hey, if you just have your maybe email address or Instagram or whatever on there, you can handwrite your phone number on there, and it's kind of special, like, hey, let me give you my cell, shoot me a text, blah, 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 that type of thing. So something to keep in mind for business cards. And I like at least one side to have some white on it. And if you can make it so that you can write on it, you don't want to get the super glossy ones that you can't write on it, then you can kind of treat them like little note cards too, which is cool. Because one thing, it's like, you giving out business cards isn't the big goal with networking. It's about collecting business cards, and not just collecting them and never collect them and put them on your email list without their permission. That's illegal, but really treat business cards beautifully. And I want you to when you get a business card, sometimes when I walk away, I'll put a note on there, send email when you get home, or, a note of, oh, has a son who plays lacrosse, because mine do, or whatever, so that you remember, and then immediately get home and do something with the cards. Okay. So a great resource for business cards I've always loved and refer, it's called moo.com, MOO.com. Or I've used uprinting.com, you with the letter U, printing.com. And they have unique sizes, high quality, and you can get fun shapes. So you don't have to be so serious about a business card. I like for it to be professional, obviously, but you can get them in different shapes that make them stand out a little bit too. And obviously, if you want a digital business card, that's the way a lot of people are going to. And one thing that one of my friends who actually owned a huge networking organization, one thing she did, which I always thought was brilliant, is she would make a Canva image or, some sort of image on an app that would say, I'd love to have coffee. And it had her photo and her information. And you can keep and store that on your phone and text it to them, right? So then you're instantly starting a text conversation. So business cards, a way for, just a fantastic thing when you're networking. Obviously, if you're online networking, you'll want to have a blurb that you can copy and paste and put in the chats when they say it's okay to do that. All right. So this third thing you need to have in place to network is a next step. So it's not just about going to 5 networking groups for the week, right? It's about having a clear next step. And one thing I did, I'll share a little system with networking, is you'll want to, if you're dressed up, you're ready to go, you might want to hit a couple of networking things in a single day. So if you say that Thursdays happens to be a couple of great networking things, maybe Thursdays are your networking time. There might be a breakfast thing. And then if you're out and about, it's a great time to meet up with friends or potential clients or in-person clients, whatever you want to do. And then if there's a luncheon, go to the lunch, right? So if you can group it, if your city has a bunch of type of networking, that's a great system because you're ready anyway, right? You're dressed up, you've got your cards, you're ready to go. Might as well make the most of it. However, if you don't live in a city that has tons of networking opportunities, that's okay. There's plenty of online. Okay. All right. And remember, we want to network with people who are our potential clients, not people just like us. So when I first started coaching, I coached a lot of realtors and people in the real estate industry. And I was always amazed that they would go network and all they did was hang out with realtors all day. So as much as I would love, for all of us coaches to hang out with coaches all day, the reality is, we want to expand, and it's okay to go to a networking event where you're different. Okay. So in Houston, we have a ton of oil and gas type of networking, and if my target client, I was a life coach and I love to work with professionals, I would show up to an oil and gas type of networking event and say, hey, I'm a coach. I work with oil and gas professionals to help them, blah, blah, blah. Like, go where your potential clients are. I think it's cool. Like, it's totally fine to hang out with other coaches. Absolutely. But don't consider it one of your core conversion opportunities, right? So we get other things hanging out with other coaches. And sometimes other coaches, we obviously all need coaches. So it kind of depends on your niche. But I want you to make sure that you know that it's okay to go network with people who are totally not like you. Okay. And they're not coaches. All right, so the next step is having that clear, actionable follow-up plan that moves a connection of someone you meet, you get a card, you have a great 5-minute conversation. So what's next? So I want you to be clear on your next step. And it could be scheduling a call. It could be sending additional information via email. It could be setting up a coffee call or a Zoom coffee and consultation, whatever feels organic, totally fine. If they, are a right fit, offer them a discovery session or whatever you call yours. Or maybe they're just a potential connection that knows a bunch of people too. Great. Have a coffee, a Zoom coffee with them, get to know them and all that good stuff, and discuss how you can help, right? So that's really what networking is all about. All right. So you want to have your elevator pitch, have your professional business cards, and a next step